Good evening, witches and ghouls. Be prepared to be frightened and haunted by Tyler Nightmare's late night horror show. And now introducing your ghost host, Tyler Nightmare.
Good evening, witches and ghouls, punks and fiends, and everyone else in between. Welcome to the resurrection of Tyler Nightmare's late night horror show. This is going to be episode 1, recorded on August 21st, 2024. And tonight we are talking about Alien Romulus, directed by Fede Alvarez, released August 16th, 2024. I am your ghost host himself, Tyler Nightmare, and with me tonight, via Google Voice phone, is my buddy Chris.
What up?
What up, dog?
How you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm ready to get started on this alien project.
I am too, dude. So, yeah, we're talking about Alien Romulus. We're about to jump right into this. So, if you have not seen the movie, I know it's only been out for like a week now, but go check it out because we're going to talk mad spoilers. And that's all the show is. So, here's your spoiler warning. And that's it. Let's talk Alien Romulus, Chris.
Alrighty, so right off the bat, what do you think of the movie?
I mean, I enjoy it. I do enjoy the movie a lot. I like it. I do like the movie a lot. But there's some gripes I can't deny.
What are those grapes? I definitely enjoyed the movie myself. I mean, I went into the theater, not really expecting like the highest expectations. I'm not with movies that have been coming out and like all these continuations of series. I haven't been going into, movie theaters and whatnot, and expecting the greatest, but this one actually came out really good. I was really happy with it.
That's good. I didn't want to say I had high hopes because, as you just said, big franchises these days, it's mostly cash grabs, and we'll talk about that a little bit in this too. But just the director behind this film is what had me really, really excited because Fede Alvarez, directed Evil Dead 2013. He directed Don't Breathe, and he directed Girl in the Spider's Web. I haven't seen that one, but I love Evil Dead 2013, and I really like Don't Breathe. I think they're really great movies. So this one had a little bit up there for me.
Yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed it. I had my certain moments with it too, where I was like, don't really like that, but we can get to that, whenever you want.
Well, let's just run through the whole movie, and we'll talk about what we liked at these parts of the movies, and then we'll diverge and see what we didn't like and compare and contrast all the way up to the end.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, right off the bat, I thought it was interesting that they kind of threw us into the world of like what it's like to be a low class, middle class worker, an average citizen, and making your way into the world and what everybody has to do just to survive.
Yeah, and they owe several like hours of their lives in order to get a visa off the planet. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And that's when our main character Rain, when she goes to the some kind of like
the office, some sort of office.
Yeah, like a visa office or something, like if you were to get like a passport or something, it seemed like. She tells, I didn't realize this till I watched a video on someone saying this, but when they bumped up her hours from, what was it, 1,200 to 24,000 hours or some shit, It's right after she told them that her parents died working in the mines. So someone said they might have added her parents' hours onto her hours to make her stay too.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
Dude, when they did that, I leaned over. I was like, "That's bullshit."
Fuck you.
Dude.
Wayland Yutani, everybody.
Yeah, dude. And they the building in the background's Jackson something. I can't remember the Easter egg, but someone was saying somewhere on YouTube that it shows that that's one of the first planets we see actually be terraformed, unlike LV-426.
Huh. Didn't catch that.
Yeah,
I
dude.
didn't catch that.
I did a lot of deep diving on this movie before we recorded this. I've been watching Easter egg videos. I've been watching people give good reviews. I've been watching people give bad reviews. I've been reading stuff from what the director says and what other people are saying. Because
something I caught just from watching it, from the first watch, is that I caught that from what I saw is that they threw in aspects from all the other Alien movies into one.
They did. They definitely did, dude. And that might be a bit of a problem too. But we can talk about that.
I thought it was interesting, because I don't know. I kind of liked that from first view. I kind of liked that. Yeah, I almost saw it as like a homage to Alien in an all, in a whole.
I mean, it definitely is. He definitely intentionally did that to pay homage to every single movies in this franchise.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the whole also, from watching this movie, it was definitely, I could tell from, just the first watch that it was definitely a homage to one of my favorite, video games, and that's Alien Isolation.
Yeah. I never got to play. I had it, but my PlayStation shit out of me, so fucking never got to play.
Yeah, you totally need to play that game, man. It is a total home. It's a beautiful game, It's a concept that. Go ahead.
Listen, we'll talk about this when I decide if I'm getting a PlayStation or a fucking Xbox. All right. Because I still haven't decided yet. I was looking around the other day. I was like, "Fuck, I don't know."
Yeah, that game is a huge tribute to the first movie.
Yeah, dude, I was gonna bring up to you, but you said you already caught it. There's the save or the save files in the game are like an emergency phone.
Yeah. So throughout watching the movie, I ended up catching like in certain scenes in like the background, you can see a little phone booth, and those are save stations within the Alien Isolation game. And that's something that caught my eye because you only see those in the Alien Isolation game. They're only, I believe they're only exist in that game. And that's what kind of stuck out to me, is because that's, like I said, it's one of my favorite video games. And I really liked that. And I ended up kind of looking up my own research, and just to find out that the director, actually played the video game, and he actually took that as a huge inspiration to make this movie.
Yeah, he said if he had a chance to direct this movie, he'd bring it back to this kind of tone, because he said this is scary as hell. And I read he played the game like 2016. I also read he played it during the pandemic, so not sure. But either way, he played the game, and this is where the inspiration mostly came from.
Yeah.
But let's get back to some of our characters. Like Rain's brother, Andy.
Andy the android.
For dude, the whole time I thought they were saying Handy. I was like, why do they call him Handy?
Handy.
Why? Because he's handy around the ship. He can open all the doors. That's why his name's Handy. What the fuck? It took me till like the second time I watched it around the end that I finally heard Andy. I was like, oh, they're saying Andy. Okay, what the fuck? I don't know. It sounded like Handy, dude. But anyway, dude, that dude, he did a really good job, just able to snap back and forth and like be glitchy.
I thought his character was interesting because it took a whole new concept of the android itself. You know, he was almost like a dumbed down version, you know, without the Wayland Yutani upgrade.
Well, he pretty much was. Rain said that her father found him in like the trash and fixed him up and shit.
Yeah, I remember catching that too.
So he pretty much was like a worthless model that just got fixed up for
Yeah,
somebody.
yeah, that's what it seemed like to me. Like he was like a simple requisition android.
And he was always malfunctioning a lot too, which is pretty good acting too.
Yeah.
But yeah, he got programmed to just tell the worst dad jokes ever. I really did not. I didn't care for the dad jokes.
Yeah, there's something I want to get into him and his character when we get to that later. You know, and we'll get to that later. You know, we should actually continue talking about these other characters as well.
I know. I want to blast through it so we can actually get to the meat of the conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So after she can't get a visa, she gets a call from a group of her friends around the area, which is Tyler, Navarro, Kay, and Bjorn. And I don't know, they're a bunch of young kids. You know, all their parents died in the mine too, and they just want to get the fuck off the planet because this system has been fucking them over, and they're just letting them die.
Yeah, it's a corrupt world. It seems like, you know, they all just want to work and slave you to death.
I mean, dude,
get as much of you out as possible so they can, and that's, I guess, the whole realistic part of it, you know. And it's
fucking
almost like a mirror image of what our world is, almost kind of similar.
Right. It's a planet that doesn't even get fucking sunlight, dude. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they even said that too, you know, like that's the sun. I don't think I've ever seen the sun, or haven't seen the sun in a while, or I think they said that.
No, she has never seen the sun. She's always had dreams about it on Yavarga, the place where her
I thought I heard someone say that.
Yeah, that was crazy to me. I was like, how is anybody even alive on this planet? Where's the plantation to give you oxygen? Unless this form of terraforming they do, I have no clue. I don't know anything about that, but
is it even oxygen?
Dude, for real, right? So they band together and they discover a spaceship up in space, which I kind of got thrown off the first time watching this. I was like, how did they get away scot-free, just taking off?
Yeah, I guess I can see that too. You know, how did nobody stop them, especially if they're technically owned by the company?
Yeah, dude, that really was soured me on my first watch, but on the second watch, I kind of just let it gloss over, and it didn't bother me that much the second time. But like the first time I was watching, it's like, there's no way they would have just got out like that. But it doesn't really matter. It doesn't fucking matter because the whole point. This is where the movie starts. Where
I suppose the company wouldn't really mind, you know, seeing as like where are they going to go, you know, even if they did leave, you know, they wouldn't be able to live for that long, you know. They'd be traveling through space, you know, with no cryo pods.
That's a good point. Yeah, actually, yeah, I can forgive it then. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But so we get up into space and they discover this ship, which is the Renaissance, they called it.
No, the Romulus.
Yeah, but it's the
their ship.
Is their ship the Renaissance?
I think so. I think that's what it was called.
Because I got a little confused because I know they have the two halves of. No, I think the big ship all in all is the Renaissance. But then the two halves are Romulus and Remus.
Yes.
Because it's the Renaissance Science Station, I think they said.
I can't remember that part. Yeah, I can't remember that part. All I know, what I remember is that the space station was, I think they called it the Romulus, but there was another half of it that was called the Remus.
Yeah, the Remus. You know what that's from?
Remus and Romulus, I believe they were some sort of, not Greek mythology, but some sort of Greek or Roman history.
Yeah, it's Roman. Apparently, they're the two founders of Rome that were raised by a wolf. Which, and if you noticed in the movie, there was like an animal on some of the doors with like two babies sucking at its teats.
Yes.
I thought it was a bear. I thought it was a bear the whole time until I found that trivia, and I was like, oh, it's a fucking wolf. And I thought it was pretty clever. And there's like a lot of that in the movie too. Like in the painting, there's a painting of the plague of 1720, and it shows like some dying mothers and their babies sucking at their teats and stuff, trying to survive and stuff. And there's more of that later on in the movie too. We're gonna get to at the end.
Okay.
It's quite interesting, but so they get on the ship with Andy's help, and Andy's only there too. Am I calling him Andy or Handy now? Fuck.
Andy.
Okay.
Yeah,
fuck.
and we got to remember that they really needed Andy because in order to even get inside the ship, they needed an android or somebody of Weyland-Yutani property.
Yeah. And that's the only reason he was there, because Bjorn's actually like an android bigot, I guess, in a way. Just
I
because.
think they all kind of were, except for Rain.
Yeah, because a synthetic locked his mom in the mines while 12 people got out, but the synthetics like time like synchronization for the timing to save everybody was off, and he trapped 3 people in there, and it was his mom, and he just hates these robots now. But then also Navarro, the Asian
I don't
woman.
remember it being his time, but as much as it was, he had to make the optimal decision.
Maybe
and
that's what it was.
I thought.
Oh,
no.
No.
That's what I saw that is.
Yeah, that's it, because Andy later in the movie times it out perfectly. That's what it is. When Andy closes the door just barely in time for Tyler.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and that's what it was, like what I was talking about before, was when he gets that Weyland-Yutani upgrade or whatnot, a lot of people were seeing him as evil, and even the characters, were thinking like he was evil, but he was actually just making the logical decisions for them. What is more logical, to save these two or to let them all die.
Yeah.
So he was actually, he wasn't evil, but he was just making rational, logical decisions, for them.
Because at that moment he's still protecting Rain, and he's not even like.
And his main mission was, after he got that upgrade, his main mission was to serve the company.
Yeah.
But it was also to protect Rain as well. But at the same time, what if things were different? Would he have harmed Rain?
I don't know.
Because that main directive is his main priority when it comes to the Android system.
Yeah. Which, fucking, man, all right, we're getting there. we're getting there. So they get on the ship and they discover the cryo chambers that they need to transport, but they only discover there's only 3 years of fuel when they need 9 years to get to Yavarga. So they go into this cryo chamber and they accidentally they triggered an alarm which starts heating up the room, and facehuggers start melting out of these like containers on the walls. Uh-oh. That is Chris.
Yeah. There were a lot of facehuggers, and you got to think, how long was this company, testing all, and how did they even actually get those facehuggers to come into being without the egg? Yeah,
dude, I got another question about something like that too. I kind of chalked it up in my brain to myself, but I'm still a little unsure. All right, I'm about to
because
just.
At the very beginning of the movie, they got the DNA from the original alien.
Oh, bro, we didn't even talk about that.
No, we didn't. Yeah, they got the DNA at the beginning of the movie. There was a ship that went by and picked up a fossilized meteor with the original alien from the Nostromo.
Yeah,
That
it
Ripley
somehow makes
jettisoned from the
cocoons
shuttle.
in space now.
I'm not sure how that even happened, but yeah, they ended up picking that alien up, and I assume they gathered the DNA from that alien to make the face huggers. Now, how they did that, I'm not quite sure without making an egg,
Exactly.
because now the life cycle is kind of, I would say, screwed up, but to me, it's confusing.
A little broken.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they killed the original alien because they make you know that's the original alien. They show you the harpoon in its back, like that's the alien from the Nostromo. And
Oh, there's a harpoon in its back?
Oh, you didn't see that?
Oh.
Yeah,
What do you mean
there's
a harpoon?
like the one that Ripley shot it in the movie.
Interesting. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, dude, it's right in its back. They zoomed in on it. They fucking showed it to you. They wanted it in your face for you to know this is the alien.
Interesting. I didn't catch that.
Dude, it was a little much, but it was still cool though.
I mean, yeah, it didn't really have that much screen time either, so.
Nah, it was all
just like a
like
quick
crucified.
shot here.
It was all crucified like Jesus and shit. It was kind of
Yeah.
cool. It was like literally in that position, like on the cross, but hanging up.
Yeah, but I thought, didn't they say that that was the same alien that? No. What was it?
What?
I know that they said that there was an alien that got loose, and someone ended up shooting it dead, and that's what caused a lot of the damage. Is the acid blood. It ended up dying, but everybody else ended up dying as well.
Yeah, that's the alien.
Huh, interesting.
Because that's the one that bled through. Yeah, because they shot it, it bled through, and it's hanging there. Like I'm guessing they put it. I don't know. They either put it there, or it died like that. But I'd assume they put it there. Because it literally looks like a Jesus, but a xenomorph. In my eyes, it did. But
Yeah.
and that's the one that has the harpoon in its back. Like it shows it to you.
Yeah.
And then
we get to the whole face hugger, scene where these characters don't know what they're stumbling upon.
I really love the face huggers in this movie.
Yeah, and the amount of them, I guess, that would be terrifying to stumble upon that many all at once.
They got the most love in this movie, I think.
They did, and I think they wanted to show the true the horror behind it, and
oh, they fucking
put
did,
you in
man.
that situation, and if you were in that situation, I know I would be terrified,
Hell yeah.
And especially because you don't know what these things are, you don't know what they can do, and you don't even know about their acid blood like the audience does.
Yeah. It's true. Fucking an arachnophobe like me would be fucking terrified to see something like that crawling at you, dude. Nope. Hell no, I'm gone. I just suck my face. I don't fucking care. Fucking as long as I can't see you. I fucking nah. Yeah, dude. Like when they have like I don't even know what to call it. The fucking penis of the fucking face hugger.
Yeah.
Going down the throat is the most gruesome one I think I've seen so far in any alien movie. I could
was fucking long too,
dude. I could like feel it. I was like, ugh, like holy
Spider
shit,
with a big cock,
dude. Pretty goddamn much. It was terrifying. Talk about terrifying. That is fucking terrifying. Yeah. So one got on Navarro, and then then we come across the mysterious android laying on the floor, which is not Ash, but Rook.
He's of the same android line as Ash is from.
All right, and here we go. Here's gonna be a big meaty part of our conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm not very happy about this. It's just it doesn't feel right to do this to someone that's no longer with us, that's been passed for 4 years, nearly 4 years, 3 to 4 years. I I I'm gonna read some stuff to you that I screenshotted that I read the other day about this.
Okay.
It's coming from Fede Alvarez himself. So, fuck, where are my screenshots? Oh, here we go. So here's what he had to say. He said, "We're not bringing someone back to life and saying, quote, Ian would have done it that way, unquote. He would have obviously done it a different way. We had an actor who was on the set, who worked on the dialogue, who worked with the actors. It's not like we skipped hiring an actor." And then later on in the same interview, this is on fandomwire.com, is where I got this from. And it says, "The late actor's widow also believes that he would have been happy to have been brought back into the franchise after years of believing that the industry had turned its back on him. Alvarez felt that his widow was also thrilled that the franchise came back for him. His surprise cameo was not a not to leverage the nostalgia factor, but to honor the actor's place in the franchise's history."
And that's kind of what I saw it was, you know. I didn't mind it. I can see why people get upset. However, you know, by putting him and installing, I guess, the aspect of him in the face, his legacy lives on.
Like, I won't lie, like when I saw it, I did get excited at first, but then after like letting it settle, it's kind of like how I felt with Rogue One with Peter Cushing as a Grand Moff Tarkin in that movie. That did not feel right to me. It just felt kind of lowballed. You could have got an actor like they did in Halloween. I think Halloween Kills. Yeah, Halloween Kills with Donald Pleasance. That was an actual actor with like really, 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 really good face makeup. That
was almost, you couldn't tell if it was him or not.
Dude, yeah, that was. I actually just saw something about that today because people have been talking about this situation so much lately.
Yeah. If anything, I didn't mind that it was him, but as far as the CGI went, yeah, it looks terrible. Like, to me, it looks terrible.
God, it's awful. It's awful. They're claiming that it's not CGI. They say it's no, dude. There's some really heavy looking CGI in there, and you can tell from a mile away.
That is CGI.
I have one bad eye, and I could see that shit. Fucking.
Yeah, that is CGI, and they just kind of made it look. I mean, whenever they do that, you know, to characters that are no longer with us, or rather actors, it just looks horrible most of the time, and you can tell like it's off, and it just doesn't fit well.
No, it doesn't, and it's just unsettling. It's like from those words, like it's nice, and I think that's how he had to perceive it because I kind of think that was the studio behind pushing that in there.
It could have been.
It could have been Fetty also, but I don't know. It just feels weird. But you want to hear something?
I didn't mind it.
You want to hear something really, really interesting, though, that I heard someone have a theory about, or what should have happened at that scene?
What's that?
You know who that should have been?
Bishop?
No, not Bishop.
Ooh.
Because Bishop wasn't created yet.
Oh, that's right.
Who else?
David?
Yeah, David.
David or Walter?
Dude. Which one? Yeah, which one's Prometheus? Is that David?
David is the one from Prometheus, and they discontinued him and that android line because he was too human-like, always thinking for himself.
And then he's the one. He's the one at the end.
And imagination.
And he's the one at the end of Covenant, right, and stuff.
Yes, he is also in Covenant, and then Walter was of the same skin and same design, but
no. I know. I always get confused of which one was the evil one and which one was the good one.
Well, yeah. I mean, David was what people would perceive as evil. He wasn't necessarily evil.
Yeah.
But he was always thinking for himself, and he had his own ambitions. Whereas Walter was more of a machine, you know, type android, and he did things for actually the benefit of humanity.
So the theory, or not really theory, but like what someone's idea of what should have happened is that should have been David right there,
I would trust it more if it were Walter.
Well,
But I see what you're saying. I see where this is going.
because it would still circle around because we're not gonna get to see that fucking whatever ending of that trilogy that was supposed to happen.
Yeah, I would have actually liked that too. I actually did enjoy those movies too.
So, oh yeah, you and me are the minority that do actually like those movies. But
They have their faults, but I enjoyed them. You know, I still
exactly.
enjoyed them.
But if that was David, because also what we come to find out is that they also now have the fucking ZX-01, which is called the Prometheus Fire, which is the black goo from Prometheus and Covenant. And
Yep.
that would make more sense that David was there, and David is the one that conjured that stuff up, not Rook. It would have been so much better. They wouldn't have rehashed a dead person.
Now I know. Now I see why it should have been David.
Yeah.
Instead when I was saying Walter. Now I see why you're saying it. David. It's because of the black goo.
Exactly.
He'd be
dude.
more influencing them to save that goo.
So kind of to me, when I'm watching this movie now, if I'm gonna watch it again, in my brain, I'm going to put my brain as that is David and not Rook. At first, it works so much better for me. It'd come kind of full circle a little bit of what we didn't get from the other movies, and it kind of maybe close to a little bit of an answer of what happened.
I think, they'd never really said it, but they do mention the Prometheus crew,
Yeah.
and that goes back to what I was saying before. Is that this movie actually does like throw in little things and mentions from each and every Alien movie.
Oh yeah, we haven't gotten to some of the dialogue yet, but we'll get there too.
Okay.
So that's pretty much all I really got to say about Ian Holmes. That's kind of my biggest gripe in the movie. Everything else is kind of minuscule, but those ones,
Yeah.
that's just I don't know. It feels like a line gets crossed, especially knowing that Disney owns this property too. And the only other time I didn't like this happening was with another Disney property. It's starting to feel kind of
Yeah.
And apparently, dude, there's like something going around about someone died at Disney's. I don't know. I just saw it on my news browser when I was getting this shit ready, and I didn't have time to read it. But I don't fucking know what the fuck that is. It's just nuts. I don't know. It was like some lawsuit they're disputing, or I don't fucking know. I didn't read it. I don't want to talk about it, but it's nuts. So let's get to the chestburster scene.
Okay.
It's a bit of a bummer they showed it in the trailer that they used
we knew it was coming.
Well, yeah, but how they figure it out though by using that X-ray machine.
I suppose, yeah, it's almost like it's unnecessary almost, but
Kinda. It would have been really
it's just
cool.
kind of something they wanted to kind of throw in there just to kind of amp things up and make things different.
Yeah.
To me, that's what it seemed like. Which that's perfectly fine, but
and it would have been different if we didn't see it in the trailer, honestly.
yeah, and I mean, yeah, and these are new characters and they don't know what's going on, and it seems almost too convenient that they run across something that can go through, has like X-ray capabilities, and then one gets infected and like what's inside of me.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's almost too convenient, that those things are just lying around and I use it at this moment.
There's a lot of things around the end that are a little too convenient as well.
But yeah, the chest burster, we all knew that was coming.
Of course. And
what I did not see coming,
fucking sweet though.
What I did not see coming was the transition, and we have never seen this in any other Alien movie, was a transition from the newborn xenomorph to a full-grown xenomorph. We have seen it shed its skin, but we've never seen it actually like grow into its adult form, and that was interesting to see with the cocoon, or like metamorphosis cocoon scene.
It's a fucking vagina cocoon.
I
It literally.
don't like to see it that way. Don't ruin vagina.
Well, dude, the Alien was based off of hypersexual art and imagery. It's actually kind of cool that they did that because obviously the xenomorph's head looks like a giant fucking schlong.
Well, have you ever noticed? I actually never noticed this until I actually played the isolation game. If you look at the head, you can actually see a skull underneath the black. It's supposed to serve as like a visor and a
Dude.
protection.
I caught
But, yeah,
that. I caught that in this movie, and it's the first time I've ever seen it. And I've always wondered if there is actually something under there. Like, how can they
Yes,
actually see? You know?
Yeah, it's a skull. It's like a humanoid skull with eye sockets, but you don't see. There's no eyeballs. It's just like eye sockets.
I wonder if that's like the skull in Alien Resurrection with the monstrosity at the end. How it's like eyes are
That
like
is how it looks.
sucked in. Yeah, that thing is.
That is how it looks.
That thing is god awful, and we'll get to that. Later. We'll get to
The
that later
newborn.
too. Oh God, that poor thing, just getting sucked out a little hole into space.
I just watched that scene too earlier today.
Dude, that movie's ridiculous.
It's. I like the detail put into it, and the detail into the aliens themselves. Like they're actually very beautiful in that movie. But to me, the story and the movie isn't that great.
I heard recently that there was like, it was written by some really well-known writer, and then it was directed by some really known French guy or something. I don't remember, but just their two styles didn't really mix that well or something. I don't know. I heard it very recently on a podcast.
Interesting.
Anyway, let's get back to vagina cocoon.
Yeah.
Because this part's fucking sweet as fuck, actually. It's probably one of my favorite parts in this movie. Fucking, this dumbass Bjorn fucking takes like a shocking probe and sticks it right in the fucking crevice, the cavity of this vagina cocoon looking thing, and shocks the living fuck out of the xenomorph inside. And then it starts leaking blood acid and starts burning a hole in the ground. And then the tail comes out and fucking swipes him in the fucking eye, knocks his ass down, and the blood drips on him and just leaks through him. And it's fucking cool as fuck.
Yeah, that part actually made me happy. Dude was a douchebag.
What?
I said that part actually made me happy. Dude was a douchebag.
Dude, he was a fucking prick. You knew he was gonna die.
Douchebag for no reason, not only to the android, but to everybody else.
Yeah, dude. Fucks up that dude's ass.
Yeah, no, cocky little guy.
Well, we get it with the android, but
You got to have that character in there, though. Like, there's always that character that thinks they know what is best, and
yeah. Although,
but yeah, when you finally see it come out of that cocoon, it is beautiful.
dude, it really is. I think that's where I first saw the skull too. I think it like flashed, and you could like see through the cranium of it, and you could see the skull through it.
Yeah, it's most people don't know about it. It is hard to see, and I never really noticed that about Alien and the xenomorphs before until I actually, like I said, I saw it in isolation and noticed that, and then I kind of looked it up, and yeah, for sure, it's supposed to be like a skull behind that visor, and yeah.
I mean,
But yeah, that scene was beautiful, like when it first comes out and whatnot.
I always kind of assumed that because they're supposedly formed in our shape, which our shape is formed from the engineers.
Well, they contain our DNA.
Yeah, exactly. So I always have a feeling their skulls look like ours, maybe. But then in fucking Predator 2, at the end of Predator 2, you see that skull collection, and that thing has got a long, elongated skull, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's always just been a confusing little tidbit or whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
See the alien. What happens around this point? I'm ready to just fucking for one. All right.
Well, around this point, I believe that they are trying to. They are trying to. Yeah, I can't really remember either myself.
I think this is where they're sneaking through the face huggers when they turn up the temperature.
Yeah,
Which that part's
you're
pretty
right.
cool. That part's pretty cool actually. I dug that because um that's kind of brand new. I never knew they could sense heat. Like I don't
No, yeah, that was kind of a new detail that they put in. I don't know how I felt about that exactly, because these face huggers in every single movie, it's almost as if they know, you're there.
Yeah, which I kind of been waiting to bring this up, but I kind of want to get it out. So around the end of the movie, there's like a fuck ton of xenomorphs, dude. Where the fuck did they all come from?
The crew.
Not the crew that we are with.
No, but the crew of the space station.
Okay, that's what I thought to myself when I was in the shower earlier. I was like, it's got to be from the crew. But then here's the other thing. Wouldn't
This
they?
goes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Wouldn't the xenomorphs know that you got on that ship and made all that noise? And wouldn't they be
And
coming for you?
this goes right back to Alien Isolation. This goes right back to Alien Isolation because in the game itself, when Amanda Ripley, who is the main character in that game, she is the daughter of Ellen Ripley. When she gets on the space station and she ventures around and you go through the story a little bit, you learn that there's only one alien. That's what you're led to believe, is that there's only one alien on the space station and you have to deal with it. You end up getting it off of the ship, but then come to find out there was all along an entire nest that has been hiding and, hiding within the ship's depth. Sorry.
It's kind of what I figured.
And that goes back to like what I was saying before, is like this, to me, this movie, when I saw it, it was almost an exact story replication of Alien Isolation. Almost every single event goes along with that game.
Yeah, I gotta play that game, man.
It is I love that game.
But
It's fun.
back to the nest though. How the hell is the nest formed without a queen?
Yeah, this actually, in the very first Alien, I believe Ridley Scott in the director's cut, he originally had the idea that the alien can self-reproduce. There is no queen in the original Alien.
Correct.
And in the director's cut, you see Dallas cocooned up on a wall, and this alien ended up making a nest of its own. And we're led to believe that he's infected somehow. And the alien has some sort of intention. You don't know what, because there's no eggs lying around or anything, and he's not face hugged. So you're led to believe that the alien has some sort of intention with him, some sort of purpose. Otherwise, it would have killed him, but it didn't. So, the reason, or the fact that he's cocooned on the wall shows that there's a purpose to that. And the speculation and idea is that the original Alien can actually self-reproduce somehow. And they wanted to carry that on with Alien Isolation. I did, however, figure out something else with Alien Isolation. And now, apparently there is, in fact, a queen in Alien Isolation. But you never see it. You never stumble upon it. Now, that could very well be the same factor with this movie. I'm not sure. I don't know what Fetty had in mind for this. He could have gone the same route that Ridley Scott went and, made it so that these aliens do not actually require a queen to reproduce, or there in fact was a queen, but you never stumble upon it. Now, I know in the game, you can hear the screams of a queen, but you like I said, you never see it and you never stumble upon it, but you can hear it in the background. I didn't notice that in the movie, but I also wasn't looking for it.
I didn't hear it both times I saw it. So,
But that's what comes to mind with that whole, like the whole replication thing.
all right, well, that could be a possibility. I know Ridley Scott was a producer on this movie too. It's under his like I think Scott Free is his production company too. One of the title card at the beginning.
Okay.
So, I heard people say that it was probably Ridley Scott that tried to force in the black goo into the movie. I don't know.
Could be.
But
Could be.
I also heard James Cameron helped out on this. He helped out on something on this. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Well, I definitely felt the aliens. I wouldn't say. I wouldn't. I don't see. I don't like the word vibe.
Yeah.
But that's the best analogy that I can come up with. I definitely felt that.
Well, you know
when-
why? Because Fetty got a hold of the original crew that did that, and they helped out on the set.
I felt that with one shot in particular, and that was when she comes. She sends. I can't remember her name, but it's the pregnant. It's a pregnant girl.
Okay.
She sends her on the elevator to go back up to the ship and wait for them while she takes care of the nest and tries to save Andy. And when she goes back down, there's a shot of her, and I think it's meant to pay as a homage to Ellen Ripley, but the way I see it is it's almost like an Aliens type of vibe, you know.
Oh, it definitely
She
is.
pops up with the rifle, her hair's blowing in the wind, you know, and she looks like, you know, she's ready to take on some action. You know, I also see with her character in specific and that actress in particular, she looks exactly like the main character to the Alien Isolation game. But that I call that the money shot, because that's exactly what it is. You see it in the trailer and you see it in articles. They use that shot for the art, like certain articles, if you know, to read up on the movie.
Yeah.
But that's the particular shot that I see like Aliens, the second film, with.
Definitely was.
And I like that too. You know, I think it was kind of like, you know, this is. I don't want to say like this is the new Ellen Ripley, but it pays a homage to her.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to talk about the scene where they're down on the lowest floor and all the xenomorphs are coming for them, and they decide to turn off the gravity.
Yeah.
This part's pretty cool, but there was one part in there and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Fucking. So she's blasting all these xenomorphs with blood everywhere, the acid blood, and it's floating in the air with anti-gravity, which is cool as fuck. But then she's like floating towards one and she doesn't know what to do. She blasts her gun up so she can go down. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was kind of stupid.
I was like, yeah,
Yeah, that
fucking
was
right.
I mean, yeah. At the same time, I'm not sure how the physics in space would work with a weapon like that. But yeah, typically with a real life weapon, yeah, there is like a significant amount of recoil, especially if they're, you know, a higher round. I'm like I said, I'm not sure how physics will work in space like with that, you know, but when I saw that too, I thought the same thing, you know, okay, yeah, this is dumb. You know?
That was crazy.
I also think that scene was kind of more like, you know, they stuck that in there just to kind of give you something different, and it gets the anxiety up, you know, and everybody's like, oh shit, what's going to happen? You know, like it's a roller coaster ride of like, oh shit, you know, they got to go through this fucking acid blood without fucking having it touch them or the ship for that matter.
I mean, it was pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie. It was fucking rad. But then
That was another aspect I thought was interesting too, is that they wanted to avoid shooting it, or shooting any of them for that matter, because of the damage that it could do to the ship.
yeah.
And you know, you never really see that with any other alien movie. Well, I mean, uh, granted, 2, 3 are not even in space, I believe, but 4 is, and they don't really think about that part. I mean, they do with like the blood on the window, and that's how the newborn dies. But they're shooting them, and they're melting through the floor and whatnot, but they don't really think about it melting all the way through the ship. I mean, they did that with the first Alien, and it melts through. I think a single drop of its blood melted through like 3 floors of the Nostromo.
Yeah, I think so. 3 or 4.
To think like if they actually shot one and the amount of blood that would come out of it, it's actually a pretty interesting detail that he thought about. Now, I'm not sure if that's just something that he wanted to throw in there and, kind of build, I wouldn't say build more anxiety to the situation.
I mean, it was pretty tense.
Yeah, but I could tell that was another aspect that reminds me of the game itself, is that you can't kill this thing and you're going to try to avoid it at all costs.
It literally just seems like he just wanted to make the game the movie.
Yeah, that's what it really seemed to me.
Yeah, and then just pay homage to everything else as much as he can, and just
yeah, there were a lot of details that made me really, like I say, I keep going back to and you can tell, like I keep going back to the game, in this whole podcast.
Well, it keeps coming up in a lot of his like interviews and stuff. Like that was the inspiration for the whole film in general.
Yeah, I love that, dude. I love that he fucking, he sees that how beautiful that game is, and he wanted to, I guess, portray it on film.
All right,
in his own way, anyway. But yeah, let's continue with this.
Yeah, let's jump to. I'm just kind of jumping around now because I can't remember the rest of the order a little bit. We're kind of like.
I guess one thing that we could talk about is the cryo gun. In all other alien movies, we're led to, I wouldn't say we're led to believe, but ever since the original, we're expected that fire is the one way to, I guess, back the creature off and get it afraid. And, it's like your defense against it, but the cryo gun, that was different. And that's actually a pretty unique new thing.
Yeah, I have this board game, this alien board game that me and Dan Scott will play every once in a while, and you pick up these like scrap pieces in order to like craft. You can craft a stun gun, you can craft a flamethrower, you can craft a radar, and they all come in handy for avoiding Ash or the alien itself. We've never seen them try to freeze any of these creatures before, as far as I remember.
As in defense, no. And that I thought that was interesting. Is they were using something like that for defense.
And they used it to get the face hugger off of Navarro when that part too.
Yeah.
All right, let's.
Yeah, it was real interesting. I like that actually.
Yeah. Let's get to the fucking. What are you doing?
I'm rolling a cigarette.
Oh. I'm gonna say, damn, it's loud as fuck.
Sorry.
It's all good. Let's get to.
For everybody watching, don't smoke.
That's too late. Smoking's bad. Okay. Anyway, let's get to the fucking monstrosity of this fucking movie.
What's that?
Probably the thing in this movie that's really new, but still kind of not new at the same time. So Kay gets injured, and they give her the black goo from Prometheus.
Oh, yeah. And Rain tells her not to take it, but she ends up taking it anyway.
Yeah, she ends up taking it, and she puts her in a cryo chamber. And then as they're about to like take off, the alarm goes off, and her pregnant belly is just fucking huge now, and she gives birth to a fucking alien egg. It's fucking horrifying. I remember, cause the first time I saw this, I was kind of sleeping, and I remember waking up to that, being like, "What the fuck is this?" And then I actually stayed awake for that for a little bit, but then like the thing
Yeah, and then you
opened.
see a little baby inside of it too.
Dude, I was like, what the fuck? Even half asleep, I was like, what the fuck? Fucking kind of freaking out. And then it falls
Yeah,
down through the cargo container. It hatches, and then you see. Oh, God, dude, take it away. This thing's horrifying.
yeah, it ends up growing, you know, as because it goes down like you said into that cargo bay, but then it ends up growing, and Rain's trying to follow it just to kill it, and she follows it, rather follows the tracks, and sees that it goes back up into the ship area, and then when Andy's trying to help, I can't remember her name.
Okay.
Kay, yeah, when Andy's trying to help Kay, you know, she sees it from behind, and he sees it as well. And this thing, it went from a baby all the way to a humanoid looking
Engineer.
alien, you know. It had the face of the engineer too. That's exactly what I thought
Well,
from first glance, is that thing did have like the face of the engineers from Prometheus.
because she
But
took.
it also reminded me of the way this thing kind of looked. You know, it also looked like those creatures or demons, whatever, from Legion.
Oh, hell no. Oh, yeah, you said this. I remember this.
Yeah, elongated legs and arms.
Well, the black goo she took was the synthetic black goo that Rook made.
Yes,
So,
and they were still working on it too.
exactly. So, I mean, you also have to think about the fetus inside too. It's not what we're used to knowing or seeing, but it literally has the features of a xenomorph and an engineer, in my opinion.
Yeah,
And
I
that
could see the engineer in the face. That's
and
for sure.
and that dude's a real dude too. He's 7'7" tall.
Oh, that's one creepy motherfucker.
Dude.
Yeah, I'll admit that thing was pretty creepy looking. It definitely looks different than the alien creatures we have seen on film. So it was new. I actually did like it.
See,
You know, it's a real creepy looking creature.
it's new, but it's not new because
Mm-hmm.
it's from Resurrection.
Yeah, that's another thing that I got out of it, and that's another aspect that I was saying before, is that there's things from every movie that are in this movie, and that was one of them, is the newborn.
The only one I'm having a hard time picking up from anything in this is Alien 3. The only thing I could think of is the Navarro character because she's got the shaved head and stuff, but
Uh,
I'm not really getting much from Alien 3 though. But
yeah, I'm not either.
I got everything else from every other movie besides the Alien vs Predator franchise, which
Yeah,
we're gonna talk about that
I'm
in a
sure.
little bit too.
Yeah, I'm sure there is a detail that we're overlooking. You know, I haven't actually seen, or rather, I haven't really watched the third movie for quite some time, and that's the one that's a movie that's always fuzzy with me, and because it's like my least favorite.
See,
I want to say three and four.
I'm the vast minority in that because I like 3. I do like 3.
3 and 4 are my least favorites.
4 is my least favorite Alien movie in the whole franchise. It's my least one. It's fun. It's stupid, but it's fucking. It's got sweet actors in it, but it's so bad.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some sort of details that we're overlooking here.
There's a whole basketball fight scene. They fight over a basketball game. What the fuck is it in space?
Well, yeah, isn't it?
It's
Oh,
I'm talking about Resurrection, but
yeah. Now I remember.
it's fucking lame. But anyway,
Because isn't the third movie in a prison?
yeah, the third movie's in a prison. That's what I like
that's what I
about
thought.
it. Anyway,
That's what I thought.
this monstrosity, dude. Remember when I said that we're gonna talk about some teat sucking later?
Yeah.
That's what that thing's doing. It's breastfeeding off of her, and her breast is oozing out the black goo now too.
Was it?
Yes.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, so even her DNA inside's all screwed up too. And as that thing was feeding, did you notice its tail growing into the xenomorph
Yeah, and
tail?
yeah, I noticed that, and
Fucking
you can tell
heinous.
that it's not done growing. It's not done reaching its full metamorphosis, I guess.
Dude, so fucking disgusting.
Hmm.
I remember waking up and seeing that. I was like, oh my god.
But
I heard Maya next to you going, what the fuck is that?
even I said that. I was like, what the fuck?
That's like the big shocker of the movie, but it's so hard to kind of take seriously just because if you're a fan of the franchise, to me, I just think of fucking Resurrection and just how that thing just dies and just screams.
Yeah, that's a
"Ah!"
detail. Yeah, that's a detail from Resurrection. I would say, is the newborn part.
Then she pretty much. Oh, okay, here's we go with what I was talking about earlier about too much convenience happening. So she tries to spray that thing with the cryo gun and it explodes and starts freezing everything. She somehow knows how to put on the suit very fast. She knows where to find it. She knows how to grab the cryo gun where it's at. And then she knows how to open these hulls into the cargo underneath and then release it. I don't know. It felt a little too puzzle pieced together easily.
Yeah, I can see why. I can see why. It's almost as if she knew the ship in and out.
Yeah, and
You
she,
know, and,
but she doesn't. She's never even been in space before.
yeah, yeah. I could see now what you're saying about that.
Like it felt very rushed. It didn't feel very tense enough. It didn't feel. I didn't feel that she was actually in danger.
If,
And kind of, you're not. She's not going to because she's going to survive. But also, you kind of
well, we
don't
didn't know that.
exactly. You kind of don't know because you don't know these characters at all. She could have died, and they don't return in the future. So, like, obviously not. But
Yeah, I'm glad she didn't die though. It's I enjoyed her character.
yeah, and then they end it just like the original Alien.
Almost like any other alien movie would end. It ends up, with them going in cryotubes and going off to wherever.
Pretty
I think
much.
they went off to the planet that they had the idea of going to anyway, even though androids supposedly can't go there, but she's going to bring Andy there anyway.
Pretty much that's the whole movie. Let's talk about some things we didn't really talk about that are still lingering with us, and then let's rate this thing.
What's that?
All right, so I got problems with some of the lines in this movie.
Yeah, I know you did.
Yeah, there is no fucking reason Andy should have said, "Get away from her, you bitch." For one, it was awfully fucking. It's the worst. It's the worst. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Yeah,
And honestly, nobody in that movie should even said that line at all. He already had the one good callback of "I prefer synthetic" or what is it, artificial person, because
yeah,
Bishop says that in the second movie,
yeah,
which that's nice. That's cool because he is an artificial person.
yeah.
But
And then
he,
there's even Ian Holmes's dialogue too, when he's like, "You have my sympathies."
oh yeah, he also, oh yeah, what did he fuck? He says something else too. He's like, I think that's what it is. Like, I can't tell you
Yeah, he
about.
basically says the same thing that Ash says.
He says, "I can't tell your odds, but you have my sympathies," or something like that.
Yeah,
But he says another thing too. I just watched it earlier, but it's fucking. He's decapitated, and it's like it's not that one because he has two of them in the movie. What's the other one?
perfection, perfect organism.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the same. Yeah, yeah, that might have been it. Yeah, so some of that, a lot of some of the other quotes I kind of missed, but the bitch one just really soured me.
Yeah, I kind of thought about that too.
It should have not even been in the movie, quite honestly.
I think that was more the studio doing that, to be quite honest.
Probably,
At least, at least I'm hoping it was.
and that's the other beef is I can feel and see a lot of studio interference in this movie. I think Fetty just wanted to make Isolation, but they wanted him to still make like a standalone thing. Maybe I don't know. It's hard to really say,
And
but
yeah, that's what's nice about this movie is you don't actually need to watch any of the other Alien movies or even games, to actually go and see it, because you'll get the concept of it like right away.
yeah, very true. I was gonna fuck. I forgot what I was about to say. I'll think of it. You got anything you want to add that you like or dislike?
Um, I mean, I liked a lot about a movie. Like I said, like I've been saying, this is a perfect. I don't want to say adaptation, but imitation or reflection upon the Alien Isolation game. That's what I see when I, upon first watch of this movie. It's almost like a mirror image of the game. Some things are different, but it has the same pace and story almost.
Yeah.
Minus Amanda Ripley's character.
You saying that just made me remember what I was gonna say. I was gonna say this is our first Alien movie we've had since the buyout from Disney too. So
Really?
because Disney owns Fox Studios and 20th Century Fox.
I thought they already did that though back in when they did Covenant.
They didn't own they didn't own 20th Century yet.
Oh,
That deal didn't go through until I think 2019 or maybe
okay.
around there. Because that's the same year that Logan came out too, and that was still over at fucking 20th Century as well.
Huh.
But yeah, just
All in all, I enjoyed the movie.
any other scenes that stick out to you at all?
Um, I don't know. There were some things that I was kind of hoping like I'd hear, like the main theme, I guess, to Alien. I was hoping I was gonna hear like the little song, that comes out when you first watch, in the opening of the first movie, but you don't hear it.
I kind of like
You
that it
know.
was pure silence. That kind of tensed me up when we first sat there. I was like, damn. Like I didn't even
Oh
want
no
to.
no no, not like not at the very beginning of the movie. I'm just saying in general. I
Oh,
was expecting to hear the Alien theme, at some point in the movie, but I was a little disappointed that we didn't get that.
I'm gonna see if so you can keep going. I'm gonna see if I can pull up a couple of
Yeah.
interesting things.
I mean,
Like,
I did like the details to the ship too, and
oh yeah,
you actually, the fact that you can that they went around and put so much detail inside of a space station is really really good.
everything in this movie is fucking beautiful. Everything
Yeah.
in this movie is. I loved it, dude. Like the minute we saw inside the ship and everything turn on, it literally was like, damn, did we just take this straight out of fucking 1979? This is fucking really cool.
Right.
Couple.
Oh, that was something I read about was what they did with the aliens is I'm not sure about the face hugger, but I know the alien, the creature, they used more practical effects
Oh,
instead of CGI.
everything they did, all of it practical. The face huggers were practical. The xenomorphs were practical.
To me,
the
I could
monst-
I could tell that something was really good about them too. I just didn't know what it was, but I think that has a part to play within that because they definitely looked really nice and
have,
beautiful.
have you seen some of the behind the scenes on that stuff?
No, I haven't, not yet.
It's rad. They're like literal, like they're giant robots. They're little robots, and they just put the stuff over them, and they made them look like xenomorphs. It's fucking, and they move on their own from like a handheld controller. The fucking face hugger is like actually a crawl because they are like an RC car. It's so fucking rad. It's so good, dude.
Yeah, that's cool.
I see on here the film was actually shot in chronological order from beginning to end. That's how they filmed it.
What do you mean chronological order?
Like how the movie you see, because you know how movies sometimes you don't have to shoot in order to make the movie. You
Oh,
just
okay, yeah, okay. Now I see what you're saying. You know, like some scenes are shot. You know, like the beginning of the movie would be shot in the last, I guess, part of about it. You know, it'd be
yeah
like the last to be shot or something like that. I see what you're saying.
yeah. Actually, you'd be surprised. A lot of movies do actually shoot the very beginning of the movie last for some reason. I hear that a lot. But he's done that.
Yeah, you can tell when it comes to like characters' hair, their beards, and whatnot. You know,
Yeah,
like Obi-Wan Kenobi and his beard.
for real. No, this is the second time doing this because he did this with Evil Dead as well because of all the blood that was going to be everywhere. It was going to be too hard to like, get it scene for scene. So he shot that in order too. It's just like this. So I appreciate that. I guess we didn't really talk about Andy that much, even though he was.
No, we didn't. Yeah,
And he was
I
kind
mean,
of. He was kind of the
I did at the
star.
beginning. What's that?
He was kind of like the star, not like the star, but like he shined the most.
He was a key character. He's definitely a key character, and like I was saying at the beginning of the podcast, you know, they put a lot of detail into his character development because there's more that he has to interact with, you know. And it seemed like he was making, when he got the upgrade, you know, a lot of people were thinking like he's evil and whatnot. You know, even Rain was saying that, but that's not the way I was seeing it. The way I saw it is he was making more rational decisions when it came to what seemed more logical for that situation in particular.
Yeah.
You know, like if they had to, when Kay was trapped behind the door in that loading dock with the alien, you know, he was explaining to them, and I could understand it myself without him actually talking.
I do get it too.
You know, is that he's trying to save these two, but if he saves her, you know, they're all fucked. You know, so he has to keep that door locked. You know, and they're like, open the door, you know, but they don't understand how dangerous this creature is. You know, he knows how dangerous this creature is, and he has to make this decision, this hard decision. And this goes back to what we were explaining before, you know, with the mines and whatnot, where he had to choose to save a bulk of the miners or all the miners and risk their deaths.
Yeah.
And he chose the logical decision where he knew, you know, if he saved these people, he knew that they were going to live, rather than take the risk of saving one or, you know, saving this particular group and risk the lives of everyone.
So I just been reading. Damn, I've been reading a bit of trivia, just trying to find some stuff you think you might find interesting. I found one pretty good one I think you might like.
Okay.
It says when Tyler, Bjorn, and Andy tour the reactivated Renaissance station, Wagner's The Entry of the Gods into Valhalla from Das Rheingold is heard over the introductory audio explaining the station being named after Romulus and Remus. This ties back to Alien Covenant when Peter Wayland first activates David and asks him to play a Wagner, choosing The Entry of the Gods into Valhalla.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't catch that. You know, it's kind of funny because I just watched that last night. But yeah, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I knew you'd like that one.
Like I was saying, there's definitely details of each and every movie that we're overlooking here, and because I know that they're in there all in one movie. But the one that I can't really seem to fit is Alien 3. I don't know what it is. It could be a piece of dialogue. It could be a music. It could be something in the background. But I know that there's something from the third movie within this one.
Sorry, I'm just going over stuff. I think that's pretty much all I want to share on this. Yeah, I'm pretty much good on this. I got all my complaints out. I do love the movie. I love the movie.
And I mean, to me, it doesn't seem like there's that many complaints.
It's not. It's small things and things I just kind of don't like and things I morally don't agree to, I think.
Yeah, and I have my certain things with it too as well, you know, but they're so minuscule and small that it doesn't really take away from the pros of the movie and how and how good it is, I guess.
I agree. I agree. Um, you want to know where? Well, okay, let's give a rating, and I'll tell you where I rank this.
Okay.
So, out of 10, dude.
I would probably I'll give it an 8. 8.5.
What you going? Which one? 8 or 8.5?
8.5. We'll give it an 8.5.
I'm glad I didn't
I'll
write that.
I'll give it an 8.5.
I'm glad I didn't write that down yet.
I'll give it an 8.5 because, you know, there are some things with it that I think they could have done better or not done at all. But when it comes to the entirety of the movie, I loved it.
Yeah,
It's a perfect standalone movie.
I'm gonna give it a solid 7. It just I kind of like just Ian Holmes. It really brings me down. But all in all, it is like an alien movie I've wanted for a while now. But I actually didn't complain about this. I feel like I didn't get enough xenomorph.
Yeah, I mean, that's what everybody wants. But that's also something that people overlook. And I actually understand this too. I mean, look at the first Alien. You know, you don't really get that much xenomorph in the first Alien. He wanted to make this more of a horror film and like a thrill of the horror. You know, he really wants you to be wondering what's around the corner and, you know, something's there, but you don't see it.
Yeah, but once you have aliens in your life,
That's true, but you know, he also made this for, you know, people that have never seen Alien before.
yeah,
And you, like I said, you don't have to actually see any of the Alien movies before. You're already introduced to, you know, you'll get the introduction to what the alien is, what it does, you know, what it can do. You know, a lot of fans of the previous Alien movies already know, but it's also meant to introduce it to new fans,
yeah, I get that.
modernize it.
But it's also you know me, I'm the creature feature guy. That's my stuff. I always want monster. Give me all monster. That's
Yeah, I get it.
that's me. It's just one of my personal gripes, but it's still it's just great, man. Feel a little bit bad about the 7, but then here's where I rank it in my favorite alien movies. I've been struggling, well, because obviously the first one is Alien, the second one is Aliens. That's always, and it depends who you are. Those two are gonna flip, but no matter what, those are gonna be the top 2 of everyone's fucking Alien list. No matter what.
I'd put this one third in line.
See, okay, I'm struggling a bit. I I don't know if this is gonna count because I count it. I know the fan base doesn't, but I would put this at number 4. And then, can you guess where I'm going?
No.
I'm putting Alien vs Predator number 3.
Uh,
I fucking love that movie, dude. That was my introduction to Alien and Predator. I saw the movie when it came out when I was like 10 years old, and I fucking love the fuck out of that movie. I know it's a bad movie, but I fucking love that movie.
It's not a bad movie. I don't think it's a bad movie, but
It's not that
as
bad,
far as
but
as far as like I guess canon goes and like it doesn't fit, you know, within the Alien universe.
see, and if I have to take it out of that because of the whole canon bullshit with the fans, then this would be probably my 3rd favorite Alien film.
Yeah, I like Alien AVP too because I like you. I grew up with it as well, and you know I actually enjoy it. You know, whenever I watch it. But as far as like ranking it on the Alien movies and staying loyal to like the story and whatnot and the universe itself, you know, I can't actually put that. For some reason I can't include it, you know, within the Alien list because when I think Alien, I'm just thinking the Alien movies, you know, minus the Predator.
Right, yeah. Oh, actually, this is something I wanted to bring up too, which kind of fits perfectly. I want to get to your list too, but before I completely forget, because I talked about Alien vs. Predator,
Uh,
have you seen that Fede Alvarez wants to do Alien vs. Predator with Dan Trachtenberg, the guy that just made Prey?
I did.
I want to see it. I want to see that.
Mm,
Dude, come on.
they'll
Come on.
have to execute that in a certain way.
I'm sure they could. They could just go off by the comics. I have the comics of Alien vs. Predator, dude. It works. Just go by the comics and shit.
Yeah.
It's so
Well, that's the
good.
thing. It's getting the studio to work with the story. The writers.
Well, they're both owned by Disney, so
Well, yeah, but there's things that the studio wants to do. They end up wanting to throw their own things in there and their own ideas. And if you want to do this movie, you have to put this in there.
I know. But he's talking about Fetty was talking about how he wants to do it like Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez, where he directs half and then Trachtenberg directs half. I think it'd be really cool. I think it'd be a cool idea. I think it'd be. I think people would finally appreciate Alien vs Predator as they should. I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. But also, we have Prey 2 coming out soon, and another Predator film called Borderlands, where it takes place in World War II.
Yeah. Well, so something else I can also think of that about this movie that I kind of liked that really irks me when it comes to like movies nowadays, and that's like when they try to put that relief comedy in there.
Yeah, they didn't.
It just sometimes it just really irks me. Like what they did with the Predator.
Oh,
They would constantly throw that comic relief in there, and it's just like it throws the entire atmosphere off.
that movie was just trying to be as offensive as it could. I think.
Yeah, it just doesn't work well, and same thing applies to other movies as well.
That's why
It just doesn't fit.
that's the worst Predator movie.
I can see why
Yeah.
it wasn't that great.
I know. I used to not like Predator 2 until I kind of rewatched that one. I was like, oof, yeah, no, this is not a good movie.
See, I actually enjoy Predator 2.
It's growing on me. There's only 4 movies, so or 5 now,
Yeah.
but because obviously
I enjoy Predator 2.
Predator 1's always the best, but then I love
Yeah,
Predators.
yeah.
Predators is fucking sweet.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
That one gets a lot of hate. I don't get. I guess I get why, but like, nah, fuck that. That movie is sweet, dude.
I enjoyed that one.
All right, I think that's all I really have to talk about anymore.
Yeah, me too.
Yep, I'm all dry. All right, we're about to get out of here. Thanks everyone for listening. Chris, thanks for fucking talking Alien with me.
Oh, you're very welcome.
All
Thank you
right,
for having me on here.
dude. Fuck yeah, you're coming back on for more.
I hope so. Hopefully, I can come on for the thing.
Uh,
I can put some true detail into that.
well, we'll get to that around the winter time. I got a schedule here. I said I want to tackle a lot of the anniversaries this year. We got the 40th anniversary of Nightmare on Elm Street, the 50th anniversary of Texas Chainsaw. We have Friday the 13th this year. Might as well drop that since I drop these on Fridays. There's a lot of shit coming out. And I want to get to all that. And I want to get to the new Beetlejuice and stuff. And the Terrifier. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. But yeah, we'll get to it. And I know you have a lot of these movies too. Just watch the movie and then we'll just hop on here and just bullshit for an hour and fucking. But I'm trying to bring other people on here too. And as I said, I'm trying to do punk rock albums on here now. I'm trying to bring my fellow punk rock bands on here, support them, promote them. Which, speaking of which, at the end of this, I am going to play a song by a very well-known local band called Pissed Officer, but they have a new name called Gladrads now. And I'm going to play their song Aliens, because I thought it was very fitting for this film. But anything you want to say, Chris, before we get out of here?
No, that's about it, man.
All right, buddy. We're going to play this song, And we will see you guys later. Here is Pissed Officer Aliens. Take it easy, everyone.